Good day and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Trendz Travel. I'm your host for today, Uslondiwe Wagamtalane. We are bringing you this episode of Trends from the beautiful yet very cold Women's Memorial in Mangaung. We kick off the show with Swati culture. We hope you do enjoy. In today's show, we go to the land of the rising sun for beautiful culture. We explore some weird and wonderful ways of recycling. Then off we go to Zimbabwe for some arts. Then finally, a new wonder in Ireland. Stay tuned for this and so much more coming up on Trendz Travel. Mpumalanga, a Zulu name for the place where the sun rises, is a province in the eastern South Africa, bordering the nations of Swaziland and Mozambique. Just before the Mozambican border is a small yet historically and culturally rich town of Barberton. In fact, some of the oldest rocks on Earth have been found in the Barberton area. These ancient greenstones and metamorphosed granite form the Crocodile River Mountains of the province. The Lomshio Traditional Council, under the leadership of Chief Tikontele Dlamini, organized Umemo, an event aimed at rejuvenating and promoting their council as one of the longest surviving monarchy in South Africa. When we arrived at the royal residence, preparations were already underway. The culture of the Swatis involves, like many other African culture, food, dance, and colorful clothing.
Leli viki leli nje siya celebrate emasiko ethu kalomshiye ukuthi sibobani thina sivelaphi sendani ngemasiko ethu uyabona nje ukuthi sibahle njani singileli hlobo leli nemajawu yabona ukuthi anjani nebukhosi bethu bungiloko vele siphila lempilo le sho ukuthi siyakhuthatha nelusha ukuthi aliyadi le lokhuzana le festival le ukuthi imayelana nani concerning what ilokhuzana traditional yethu ukuthi siphila njani singemaswati ngiloko nje si celebrate simnanzi kuyadliwa siyasutha silambe maswati phela walambi vele.
The African drum plays a major role in any African celebration, and in this event it was no different. We spoke to a gentleman that's an expert with this instrument.
We are warming up these drums because we want these drums to produce a quality sound when we are playing the so-called the dancing drums, the drums, so that they can give a big quality sound. That is why we are warming them so that they can give us a big quality sound, because it is, as you can see, the weather there. It is the raining, because if it is raining, these drums cannot give us a good quality sound. But if we are warming them here, they're gonna give us a big quality sound so that they can have a good dancing there.
an African festival without food. Umemo was no different, as Abomage were busy putting together the delicious delicacies that would be enjoyed by all. Umqombothi is traditional beer that is sorghum based and takes a few days to brew. It is then taken through a sieving process and left to sit and ferment overnight. Traditionally, it is believed that you need to be in good spirits and truly excited and of course warm-hearted to produce great beer. It was a busy day and everyone in the community had a role to play. Now these mothers came all the way from Swaziland to make sure that everyone looked great in proper traditional attire.
Ahlangana tobuthana akhena sibaya sebukhosi sebaqedzile ke kwakha labo babi namhla ke selusuku lokuthi kujubekile ummemo seke siyagidza ke tingoma tethu tesiswati tesindvu kube kuhle kube nje asivunula imvunulo yethu emaswati kungo nje ke lamhlanje ubona kuhlela kukuhle kangaka ngisho nalo mubu uvunula bemuhle shona lisilancinjana liyaguquka
ke mina ngiyaphothela uhlali begaba la nsanyeni leli ichuzu nje leli igama lalo leli ichuzu lekuthiwa ngusimohlwane ligajwa bobabe lababuthekile nabomake babona ngabe labo babe babuthekile baligaba sendela una lamaswati ukuthi abe mahle ngalobusuku avunule abe mahle angashoti konke nalamagcebesha lawa sakhela lamaswati ukuthi avunule abe mahle nalemgaco lena yabobabe nokwehlukahlukana kwayo naletidvabana nje konke khona letidziya sisuka eSwatini thina site la kulamaswati la sitowenda ukuthi avunule aphelele abe bahle ngalobuswati babo.
Tikondele is the most senior Swazi royal in South Africa and is the paramount royal representative in the country for Swaziland's King Mswati III.
Umcimbi walamuhla ubaluleke ngokuthi lilanga lekuthi sigcine emasiko ethu ahlale anjalo kuze kube ngileso sikhathi. Kubalulekile futhi ngoba mina lo kulesikwenda lamuhla lapha ekhaya ngikukhanze vele kukhona kubokhokho nakubogogo nakubobabe bekhona kepha indzaba lenkulu yekuthi lo muti wona lo simekuwo nguwo losuhloniphako nguwo futhi lobanga ukuthi silandzele lisiko lawo kusukela kwasekuqaleni kokuthi vele lapha enkosini nakhona sisengakatalwa thina singekho lamabutho abevela akho.
Yeah, actually when you remember clearly our people, black people especially, they forget where we come from. These cultural events, they remind them where they come from and they have to actually learn about our culture.
No, ukuthi kubalekile ukwazi ukuthi uqhamuka kuphi, isiko lakho likuphi, insuka yakho ilaphi. So this umemo event sikuyo isikhumbuza kudala inkosi zibungaza masiko wethu.
As the festivities continue, I thought I should join in the fun and dance with the ladies. I'm ready.
If you've just joined us, unfortunately, you've missed a beautiful showcase of Swati culture. But don't go anywhere, because after the break, we have so much more for you. Welcome back. Recycling is becoming a huge part of most of our lives. And in this next segment, we explore two stories who are doing things slightly differently. We explore that and some beer.
About 24 human-powered floats and art cycles moved down the Key West Frame Duval streets on Saturday in a parade spotlighting recycled creations.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Oh, we're playing tennis.
The Papio Kinetic Sculpture Parade is a nod to Florida Keys folk artist Stanley Papio, a metal sculptor known for his recycled works made out of discarded car parts, pipes, and other scrap metals.
I did it already. Just keep it.
I love a parade, but then everybody loves a parade.
Some of the featured works this year included a bubble-spewing car wash and a seahorse, a starfish merry-go-round as well.
This is for anybody of all backgrounds and all experience levels to come together, be creative, and just embrace recycling, embrace our environment, and embrace art.
First section was Kinetic Hills, and these are art bikes. Here comes Virginia Rourke. These are art bikes judges.
Thousands of people in downtown Los Angeles enjoyed a free outdoor feast made entirely of food that would have gone to waste. Volunteers served up traditional Mexican pozole stew made with 545 kilograms of mushrooms, leafy green vegetables, tomatoes and chilies, much of which would have been thrown away for being slightly less than perfect or too old to be sold at supermarkets.
Our particular focus is in the growing food aspect. So we've had a gleaning here today that resulted in about 300 pounds of produce that will benefit Thursday's meal. And yeah, so we're basically sharing the harvest.
The meal was served with caleritos, which are a type of tortilla chip made using kale pulp normally consigned to the restaurant trash can. Alma Backyard Farm provided 135 kilograms of kale, rainbow chard and purple cabbage for the meal. Co-founder Erica Siwala said the vegetables were grown on land that would itself have gone to waste. the space between a school and a church in the South Los Angeles neighborhood of Compton. The feast was prepared and cooked at LA Kitchen, a non-profit that provides culinary training for people in the community, many of whom are living in poverty or were formerly in prison. Hundreds of volunteers danced along with DJ-provided soundtrack while chopping the vegetables alongside trainees at the kitchen.
You know, there's hunger, but then there's this kind of deeper hunger people have to be involved in something bigger. So that's what we're really doing here. We're preparing meals, but what you're seeing is people really enjoying this kind of almost social sustenance of being part of something bigger than themselves.
Feedback, a London-based non-profit whose mission is to end food waste, hosted the feast. Dominika Yaroshk called on the consumers and retailers to commit to the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Environmental Protection Agency's goal, established in 2015, to reduce food loss and waste by half by the year 2030.
How y'all ladies doing today? Vegan pozole. There you go. Awesome sauce.
So, got the spoons right here. This our kale tortilla.
Yes, please. Thank you so much.
I think 10 years ago, people thought of food waste as bin diving. Now they recognise that we're talking about perfectly fresh, delicious food that is wasted on farms. And I think blaming consumers is an easy sort of way out for supermarkets, saying, oh, consumers don't want it. They do. There's a growing worldwide movement and a growing US movement against food waste. And consumers are demanding ugly fruits and vegetables in stores. They want to know what companies are doing to lead the effort. It's one of the main environmental issues in the world today, and the great thing about it is that it's one which has a delicious solution. We can eat our way out of this problem.
Food Forward recovered the rest of the produce from the downtown Los Angeles wholesale market, where the charitable group recovers millions of pounds of fruits and vegetables every year they say was destined for the dumpster before they stepped in.
It's not about, we have extra. You know, we have stuff that you don't need. You know, instead of throwing it away, find a way, or just use it all yourself, and so that way we're not using all the resources. We're not just keeping them all for ourselves.
Food justice is a thing, right? Especially amongst like economically marginalized communities and stuff. So I think that this is super innovative, super great.
I think it's good. I never would have thought of something like that, especially coming from like suburbia of where, well, it's brown, throw it out. So to think that I could still reuse that, and even talking with some of the students here, like, no, instead of throwing away your food, turn it into compost, keep reusing it. And it's like, it's an interesting concept, especially just in so much excess that we're surrounded by, to know that we can use less and still keep reusing it.
a Danish brewery is drawing on 50,000 litres of urine collected from the largest music festival in Northern Europe in producing a novelty beer aimed at the more adventurous drinker. The beer, named Pilsner, a wordplay combining Pilsner with local slang for urine, contains no human waste, but it's produced from fields of malting barley fertilized with human urine rather than using traditional animal manure or factory-made plant nutrients.
The reason why we make this Pilsner beer is because we are a craft brewery out of Copenhagen, and about 4 years ago we converted into organic. So all our beers are organic today, and we thought it would be a great idea also to go into recyclable beer. So we want to test our brewers and to test our opportunities to make a recyclable beer. So yes, that's why.
Using human waste as fertilizer on such a scale is a novelty, said Denmark's Agriculture and Food Council, which came up with the idea for what could be the ultimate sustainable hipster beer and has already been named the concept of beer cycling. The 50,000 litres collected from that festival resulted in enough malting barley to brew around 60,000 bottles of Pilsner beer.
The thoughts behind the beer was, of course, or the name of the beer was to kind of set focus on that the barley has been fertilized with pea. So instead of a traditional Pilsner, we just removed the L and called it a Pilsner instead.
Jeg synes, det er genialt, fordi om 30 år, altså det er jo en investering i øl til om 30 år, for eksempel, fordi der er mangel på fosfor, og det kan det her hjælpe med. Så det er sådan, når jeg står og drikker det, så cirklen fuldendt, kan man sige. Ja.
Human urine is one of the fastest acting, most excellent sources of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace elements for plants delivered in a form that's perfect for assimilation.
Den smager rigtig godt. Den er frisk og fyldig også samtidig, så det er en god øl.
Fresh human urine is sterile and so free from bacteria. In fact, it is so sterile that it can be drunk when fresh. It's only when it is older than 24 hours that urea turns into ammonia, which is what causes the weed smell. At this stage, it would be too strong to use on plants, but poured neat onto compost heap, it makes a fabulous compost accelerator or activator with extra benefit of adding more nutrients.
In the beginning, a lot of people thought that we had a filtration where the pea just went direct into the beer, but that is of course not right. So in the beginning, there was a lot of left and right sides opinions about this project, but now when people understand what it's all about, I think it's okay.
It hasn't picked up around the globe yet, but with all the benefits of fertilizing with urine, don't be surprised if you find a bottle of Pilsner at your local alcohol retailer.
We have so much more for you just after the break, so don't go anywhere. The Haifa Festival in Zimbabwe has become synonymous with great music, great art, and lots of learning. We went there to explore exactly what went on. Hundreds showed up at this year's Harare International Festival of the Arts, Haifa for short, a major festival which opened last week in Zimbabwe's capital. The 6-day annual festival features a vibrant display of local and regional arts and culture. It presents a platform for artists to share ideas, make contacts, and showcase their talents in various disciplines, including fashion, spoken word, music, theatre, and dance, among others. Among the acts lined up on this year's edition was Dialogue, a collaboration featuring veteran South African jazz artist Steve Dyer and his son, award-winning pianist Bokani Dyer.
I think very many different artists that come from not just the region but outside, it expands the mind. So in as much as Africa needs to assert itself, we also need to see what interesting things are happening in the rest of the world.
Zimbabwean reggae dancehall artist Winky D headlined at the event, attracting hundreds of revelers with his upbeat music. Legendary musician Oliver Mtukudzi also joined the artist on stage to the delight of many fans. Many artists continue to struggle for public funding in the country, where most events depend on private donors. The festival was held at a time when cash shortages in the last 13 months have forced banks to impose daily maximum withdrawal limits for Zimbabweans of sometimes as little as $50 per day.
I like this year's edition of HIFA because there's a lot of Zimbabwean shows and we get to see a lot of Zimbabweans who are best outside and they're coming back with their companies and they're coming back with their acts. So I'm really excited about this year's HIFA because of that.
2017 in Zimbabwe right now, we're in Harare and it's tough. We're using bond notes, US dollars and all kinds of other currencies. But to get that currency, to get the money, in fact to even get it in your bank is really difficult.
The event, which started in 1999, also featured workshop programs this year that included dance, circus, theatre and fashion, among other arts.
What people really love is the intense 6 days. That's what's important about the festival. The kind of melting pot of different types of artists coming together. You can hear an opera gala is rehearsing next door, and we've got mbira players in the stage in the opposite direction. And all of those mixtures are important.
The festival also attracted international acts from South Africa, Turkey, Ghana, Italy, and Japan, among others. HIFA came to a close for another year on May the 7th.
In an initiative developed by the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs and creatively directed by Kenya Haro, Japan House is set to open in Brazil's largest metropolis, Sao Paulo, with the idea of creating a hub to connect culture from the eastern country to the western world. The striking four-story space designed by Kengo Kuma features the architect's signature style with a multi-layered facade made up of Japanese cypress wood slats alongside modernist Brazilian Paulo brickwork. Ready for the opening is an exhibition by bamboo art by artist Chikusai Tanabe as part of a rich program of design, music, gastronomy and seminars. Director of Programming Marcelo Dantes explained that the Japan House is intended as a platform for communicating Japanese ideas throughout the Western world. Alongside the Sao Paulo hub, 2 other centers are to open in London and Los Angeles.
Japan House ela é uma plataforma de comunicação, ou seja, uma ideia
que permite com que a gente traga o assunto, a identidade, a cultura, a arte e as ideias do Japão para a cena contemporânea ocidental. Né? Ela vai se manifestar de várias formas. Né? Parte delas acontecem dentro dessa casa, que é uma casa equipada para exposições, para gastronomia, para arte contemporânea, para seminários, para debates, para design, ideias. A Japan House não é só para o Brasil, ela é para o mundo, né, uma maneira do Japão se conectar com o mundo ocidental. Né, e ela faz isso, e ela elegeu 3 cidades, Londres, Los Angeles e São Paulo, pela capacidade de formação de opinião dessas cidades, pela capacidade de que uma ideia implantada nessas cidades se distribui e acontece de forma mais eficaz pelo mundo.
To try and get more Cameroonians to drink coffee, a group of investors in the sector recently held the 4th edition of Festi Coffee in the capital, Yaoundé, to celebrate and promote coffee. The event brought together producers, coffee roasters and consumers to showcase the different varieties of coffee available in the country.
Il y a une vingtaine d'années, nous étions classés 12e mondial. Aujourd'hui, nous n'existons plus dans le classement, mais le dynamisme de la filière caféière continue de se manifester à travers une quinzaine de torréfacteurs qui développent la transformation locale.
Cameroon has seen its coffee output decline for decades, partly due to low investment and poor agricultural practices. But in recent years, the government has introduced measures to increase coffee output. The government says it plans to invest more than 13 billion francs in the sector and increase the country's output to 100,000 tons.
Un événement comme Festi Coffee permet vraiment de mettre en rapport les producteurs, les consommateurs et de montrer la richesse du pays. Ce pays a plusieurs terroirs différents. Des terroirs de hautes altitudes, des terroirs plus faibles en altitude. Et si on met tout ça à côté, on permet de montrer la richesse de ce pays-là par rapport au terroir qu'il a. L'Arabica et le Robusta en l'occurrence, à différentes altitudes. Les mettre à côté permettent à tous les producteurs de café de comparer ce qu'ils font et de se tirer tous vers le haut, tous ensemble.
Cameroon is also one of the few countries that grows both Robusta and Arabica coffee, and visiting investors here say that the country needs to capitalize on this unique blend to grow the industry. Cameroon produces around 20,000 tons of coffee a year and exports, but only about 10% of the coffee is sold in the local market.
On essaye de voir si on ne trouve pas une autre manière de consommer du café, quelque chose qui nous plairait à nous, qu'on pourrait mettre en œuvre et ensuite appliquer de manière à distribuer à nos consommateurs.
Coffee exports have seen a steady increase in the past 2 years. In this last segment, we have a mix-up of 3 very fascinating stories. We go to Ireland for a geographical phenomenon, we explore some tech, and finally, some great disco.
A beach that was swept away more than 30 years ago from a remote island off the west coast of Ireland has reappeared after thousands of tons of sand were deposited on top of the rocky coastline. The 300-meter beach near the tiny village of Dua on Achill Island vanished in 1984 when storms stripped it of its sand, leaving nothing more than a series of rock pools. But after high spring tides last month, locals found that the Atlantic Ocean had returned the sand. The island, the largest off the coast of Ireland, forms part of the Wild Atlantic Way, a tourist trail stretching from the south of the country to the northwest that has benefited from a tourist boom in the European Union's fastest growing economy. The sport has been dubbed the Formula One of the air. The drone racing championships return to the United Kingdom on Saturday, May the 6th. Drone racing, or first-person view racing, started in America several years ago, but has become an established sport in its own right in Britain.
They are built for speed, they're built for handling. Nothing is on these drones that isn't necessary, and all the stuff that is necessary is made out of carbon fibre and space-age alloys, so it's really kind of pushing the boundaries of what is possible.
The sport appeals to aspiring pilots and computer gamers who enjoy all the adrenaline of flight and a sense of escapism.
You're not just relying on yourself, you're relying on your teammates, and your teammates are relying on you. So there's a lot of strategy involved as well with the changes of quad and just trying to get as many laps as possible without crashing.
Teams of 4 pilots had to fly drones around a marked looping race course that included some tight hairpin curves while wearing goggles that showed them a live feed from the drone's camera. It's like a real-life video game. The FPV controllers allow the drone pilots to see where they are flying. With speeds exceeding 60 miles per hour, it certainly can get the heart pounding and takes a lot of skill to maneuver the circuit. It is not only the controlling pilot that sees their round, but any of their teammates or spectators who have turned their goggles to their team's frequency for viewing via a screen console. Safety is a big issue. Each drone is inspected prior to racing in a fail-safe check, and every pilot had to show they were insured. Pilots made up the 15 teams. Most of them had an engineer who could fix the drone, as crashes are inevitable. Each heat comprised of 4 teams who race a drone each for 8 minutes, each member of the team having to pilot for at least 1 lap.
Too bad.
On the day, Team Noob FTW, captained by Gary Evans, took top honors with a score of 40 from their 5 rounds.
The Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. turned back the clock and celebrated disco song and dance with a unique event called Bibliodiscotheque. The program featured Grammy Award-winning disco legend Gloria Gaynor headlining a dance party in the library's Great Hall. Bibliodiscotheque is a series of collective programs memorializing the influence of disco on society and also as a force that changed American art, fashion, language, and sound beyond the 70s and 80s. The Library of Congress called it an unprecedented exploration of disco culture, with Gaynor's performance of I Will Survive in a great hall of the library. The program included a so-called silence dance party in the library reading room, where disco fans donned wireless headphones while listening to music played by live DJs in ambient silence. Security guards at the event said they've never seen anything like it performed at the Library of Congress. In 2016, Gaynor's song I Will Survive was inducted into the library's National Recording Registry, something the icon of the 70s said was a humbling experience in an interview. She won the Grammy for Best Disco Song in 1980. The event was organized by Writers Samples, the Recording Academy, and Capital Pride, and others. Now that she's made her mark in history, Gaynor said she hopes her enduring legacy will be to uplift, to encourage, to inspire, and to empower people.
Warm fluids, I drink room temperature water to hydrate. I'm hoping that my legacy will be that Gloria Gaynor's music and Gloria Gaynor sought to uplift, to encourage, to inspire, and to empower people, and she did it well.
I am what I am. I am God's own special creation. So come to God and give me the ovation.
For someone from such humble beginnings to come to a place where people are thinking of me as history, as something that I've done as historic and valuable enough and important enough to be preserved for future generations. It's such an honor. I'm so happy about it. It's overwhelming. I only wish my mother were here to share this with me. With, for me, the most important content in the world, the American history. I have said and will continue to say, disco music is the only music in the history of music ever to bring together people from every nationality, race, creed, color, and age group. And that's because it does lift your spirits. And everyone needs their spirits lifted at some time in their life, and many times in our lives. That we have this wonderful library, the largest library in the world. So it is infectious. It's infectious, and this is what you always hope for when you record any kind of a song, that it will be infectious. So yeah, it will be tapped into, and it will inspire, and it will be sought after by future generations for a long, long, beyond my visions, for sure.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for you on this week's episode of Trendz Travel. Join us again next week, same time, same place. From the Trendz Travel team, see you next time.